Alrighty, well hello everyone, how are you guys doing? It is Tireless God here with another Tireless Talk. So as you can see, I was knocked the fuck out by this guy. And, you know, I'm doing one of these things. Oh goody, it's the box one. I mean, like this one's not as bad, but I don't think I've ever won this one, I'm not gonna lie. I do not think I've ever won this one. I actually played the numbers game earlier, you know, the higher, lower. Not gonna lie, my first number was 2. 2 was my first number, and guess what the next number was? I picked higher because, you know, like, there's like, what, 8 numbers that can possibly be higher? Oh, look at that, I failed on the second box. Oh no, I failed at the pit. What are the odds of that? Anyway, so my first number was 2, so I picked higher, thinking, you know, statistically, I should get it, right? Nope, the next number's 1. It didn't even give me a chance. Like, that's just my luck in this game. Ah, man, I hate this guy so much. And his metal arm, what is that even? He reminds me of Jag from Mortal Kombat with that metal arm. Anyway, so the point of this Tireless Talk that I'm going to be going over is the wilderness, basically, and how it has changed over time. I have played RuneScape since 2002. November 2002. Yep, that's right. November 2002 is when this account was made. I played a little bit beforehand, because this is like my second or third account. But, yeah. And I've watched the wilderness progress in so many ways. To begin with, the wilderness was a place of risk and reward at the very beginning of RuneScape, because that's like where the only rune rocks in the game were. There were the people who mined the ore, there were the people who wanted to kill the people mining the ore, and then there were the people who wanted to kill the people who were killing the people mining the ore. It was just this big cycle of people in the wilderness. There were also like what was I gonna say? Champions? That's not the right word. There were also like people were a lot more respected in the wilderness back then. Like I know they got respected a little bit more when the whole YouTube scene came out and there were like all these PKers and stuff. But there's a whole different feel to it back in Classic because it was a whole different system. And I don't know, it just felt different back then. So the wilderness had that kind of changed. People who went into the wilderness were respected. Either that, they were high mining. It was a bunch of risk and reward. That's basically how it started at. Then we came into RS2, and that's kind of when PK comms and everything became, you know, a thing. So there were PKers. The wilderness was a place to kill people, but it wasn't really like populated too much because of all the updates that had come out into the game. There were rune rocks elsewhere. You didn't have to go into the wilderness to like risk reward anymore, and the best GP in the game wasn't like killing other players. I mean, if you found someone wearing like really expensive gear for some reason, I guess it's the best GP in the game, but the odds of you running into something like that is nil. So so there's that. But there was like more activity outside of the wilderness than inside of the wilderness for money, so it kind of died out, and the only thing that were in the wilderness were people who were doing like PKing videos and all different kinds of stuff. So it's kind of the PK area from RS2 coming in, people just trying to kill other people, PK videos, that generation. Then RS3 came out. Now, this is probably the smallest period of time for the wilderness, but it was still a period. It's the dead wilderness. Absolutely nothing in the wilderness was going on. That is the time when RS3 first came out to about a few months ago, whenever Warbands came out. That is when the wilderness was completely dead. People did not want to PK. The risk reward completely out of the system. So many bosses like Nex and stuff. There is no purpose to go inside the wilderness. There was literally, like, I can't even think of a reason. Like, for a little while, it was worth it to go to Revenants because you could kill them, get some good items and stuff. But overall, the value of those things dropped really, really fast when people found out they're not worth it at all. You know, the Vested Longsword is just like a chaotic long that degrades, and why would you want to spend money on that unless you're like crapping out billions of GP every day for some reason. So there's that period, and now we come to a whole new period of the wilderness. Ever since warbands have been active, I would say there are more people in the wilderness in one day than there have been in the whole period of time when RuneScape 3 first came out. Literally, if you guys have not been in a warband, and I apologize by the way that I'm not doing a warband during this video and I'm doing agility, the reason is I already did my warbands today. Then I thought of this video after, so yeah. Anyway, so yeah, the warbands are crazy. There are literally 2+ friends chats full of people at a warband at one time, when it's a both world, that is. If it's a split world, if you guys don't know what that is, it's smaller. It's when only one friends chat can go. But if there's a both friends chat, there are so many people on the world. And it's kind of created a new generation of the wilderness of people like being, I guess the best way to put it is pussies about the wilderness. Now, the whole point of the wilderness is PvP, killing other players, and going out there with what you're willing to risk. Now, there are people who go to warbands, they either don't follow the rules, or, you know, they're not prepared, or something like that, and I take the chance when I can to kill these people because, you know, free set of Royal Dragonhide and maybe whatever else I can get from it, that's awesome, you know? So, the thing is, these people complain. They're in the wilderness, they're like, get off of me, stop hitting me, go away, you're a noob, gosh, you, like, what are you doing, do you live at your parents' house? Like, I'm just sitting here, I'm like, dude, you're in the wilderness. Do you know where you are right now? You know that boat you took out to come to the East Lava Maze? Yeah, that was used to take you into the wilderness. That means I can kill you here. Stop being a little pain in the butt about me shooting you right now. Like, honestly, it's depressing because everyone that goes into the wilderness wants to do warbands for the experience. They want to get that however much experience. You know, if you're 90 plus, you get like 300k a day. They want that experience and they don't want to be bothered with anything else. But the problem is they're putting themselves in a situation where they can be killed, and it's kind of a saddening point. I'm not gonna lie, the wilderness, I feel, has even less value to it. I mean, let me change that up real quick. It has more value to it in the sense of that it's more active. There are people out there PKing. But it has less value to it as a place that was once feared, a place of, like I said, risk-reward, a place that, you know, really meant a lot to the community. If you were someone who stepped out into the wilderness, like I was just talking to my friend Ben a second ago, he was like, you know, I never really stepped in the wilderness, I was scared, you know, you'd go like 3 squares into like level 2 and you'd be like, tee-hee-hee-hee-hee, I got in the wilderness, tee-hee. You know, that was kind of a thing back then. You know, it was a scary thought to go out there thinking about the people who could kill you. But now all the people care about is just the experience, going out there, large groups, no one dying, there's no battles going on. It's lost its essence. I'm happy that there are people being killed in the wilderness. I'm happy warbands has made the wilderness a more active thing. But the wilderness is just not where it was, and I know this was such a huge debate in the past of people talking about, you know, like PKing clans are dead. This was a huge topic at RuneFest when people were discussing, you know, like, hey man, you're killing the wilderness with RuneScape 3 and all these different kinds of things that are coming out. And I know they wanted warbands to be the fix to that, but the thing is, they didn't realize, as stupid as us scapers are, we are going to try to think of a method to abuse the system that you have. Now, what they thought was warbands is going to happen, and there are going to be groups of people going at each other. And, you know, for a little while it was Warband PK versus Warband FC. And that was kind of cool, you know. It was like a battle. You'd see all these white dots, all these purple dots coming at the same time. Just this huge battle, but you know what it's come to? It's come to Warband PK having 2 or more friends chats at one time. And that's not even a fight anymore. Warband FC, they just don't even bother anymore. And it's kind of upsetting. Because we've abused the system of warbands. We go out there in groups of, gosh, I don't even know how many, like hundreds, like 200 people. And it doesn't even mean anything. We go out there, we get experience, and we leave. There's no fight. There's no nothing. To be perfectly honest, if warbands get nerfed in like the next month or so, I would not be surprised at all, because 300k experience a day for something that can literally take 15-20 minutes of your time is crazy, especially for a skill like mining. Like, that is insane. Jagex intended this to be a extreme risk reward, a lot of PKers, a lot of different things going on, but instead we have abused the system in a way where we have like 300 people on a team at the same time going after these items, so no one is dying. So, yeah, I really do expect a nerf of warbands in the future. I think they'll either limit it to one warband a day or like 150k experience or something like that. I'm not sure how it's going to turn into or anything, but oh man, it has to be nerfed. If they just let this go like this, I would be kind of surprised. I'm not saying it's a bad thing because, I mean, I love my experience. I want to get 99 as fast as everyone else, but it would just surprise me if they don't nerf this because anything in game that lets you progress this fast is kind of crazy. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about was just my thoughts on the Wilderness and its progression and how it's changed through time. So thanks again for tuning in, guys. Oh, by the way, final thing. Forgot to mention this. Probably should have put this in the front, you know, like where everyone's going to listen. Then after a little while, they're like, yeah, I'm done listening to Tireless God in this, like, what, like 15-minute video or whatever. You know, I should have just done this in the beginning. Any updates? Ooh, there's a trimmed comp here. Ah, look at him in his shiny cape. Yeah, ADD much, John? Anyway, if you guys are looking for any more videos by me, you should hit up the official RZ channel. That's the official Rune Zone channel for YouTube. I'm going to be making update videos there. So whenever a new update comes out, I'm going to be giving like a quick like 2 to 4 minute video on what all came out and everything like that. So if you guys want to see more videos by me and all that stuff, update videos will be uploaded to that channel. I'll put a link in the description for you guys. So yeah, that's a thing and that's going on. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you taking the time to listen to my video, and yeah, I will talk to you guys later.